Welcome to GeoSnippits. I'm HeadHardHat. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn some interesting tidbits and information about the game, the sport, the obsession called geocaching. Okay, so let's get started. What we're going to do today is we are going to make a PVC pipe cache. What that means is we are going to take pieces of PVC pipe, we're going to use a 35mm container, and we're going to make a cache that people are going to love and write to you how great it is. Let's start now. To make this PVC pipe cache, we're going to start off with the basics. First, you start off with an 1.5 inch. This is 2 feet long, 1.5 inch PVC pipe. You also need an 1.5 inch elbow joint. This is going to go on top of the PVC pipe, and I'll show you how that works in a minute. The next part is you're going to need what they call a test cap, also 1.5 inches. This is going to close the bottom of the cache. When it's done, it's going to look like a giant candy cane. Okay, we're going to create the outside of the PVC pipe that looks like a giant candy cane. Now let's create the actual cache that's going to be inside the candy cane part of it. What this is a 35mm container with a magnet 1 inch glued to the bottom of it. I put a little bit of tape around it just for extra insurance to make sure it stays stable. In here is your logbook. Close this up. That's your cache. This is actually going to ride inside the PVC pipe. All this will come together when I show it to you. This is a little extra bit of insurance and fun for your cache as well. This is a second magnet that you're going to need to keep these together. Over here, you need to figure out how you want to attach your PVC pipe to the outside world. Is it going to hook into a metal container, or is it going to hook onto via Velcro, something non-magnetic? You need to decide. Whichever you do, one of these is going to go to the outside of the PVC pipe. We'll go over all that in a minute. The other thing you're going to need is epoxy or some other strong glue. This holds all the components of the outside candy cane together. Now, the important stage for getting all this put together is the type of glue that you're going to use. In this particular case, I'm using epoxy. The way epoxy works is it's a glue that's built into 2 parts. One part's the dryer, the other part is the glue itself. Mix them both together, you got a strong bond. So that's what we're going to use here. Let's mix some epoxy. Now, to do this, you kind of have to push both sides at the same time and get equal amounts of the epoxy. You don't really need a lot in this particular case. So let me get this back. Once those are put together, get a piece of cardboard or other usable material, something that's kind of stiff or sturdy, and just mix them together. Black and white, you get gray. Now, you have to move fast once you get epoxy put together, because depending on how quick it dries, this particular epoxy dries in about 50 minutes, but you still want to get things put together. So let's start putting our pieces together. Okay, so let's put this together. You start off with your 2 foot, 1.5 inch PVC pipe. You're going to have your 1.5 inch elbow. The elbow is going to fit on top like this. So to do this, we want this to stay sturdy. We don't want somebody to be able to come up and pop this off. Really spoils the effect. So let's glue this together. You take your epoxy that we just mixed, you spread it evenly on the inside, like that. Give it a good solid coat right on the inside of the lip. Put it together. Like I said, this is going to take probably a good half hour for it to dry solid. Give it at least an hour before you really do anything after that. But once it's there, it's solid and it's not going to go. Now, why use an elbow on the top of the PVC pipe? That's simple. This is going to be sitting upright like this. You don't want rain getting into the inside of the cache through the pipe. This elbow works really well. It's almost impossible for water to get up this way. So it's a good way of keeping your cache dry. That's what we want. So the top of the elbow is now on the PVC pipe. Now we're going to seal the bottom part. To do that, you need a 1.5 inch, what they call a test cap. It's nothing more than a little plastic cap that happens to fit on PVC pipe. What this is going to do is this is going to get glued down onto this, seal it in so nobody can get into your cache this way either. So let's glue this together. To do that, you get your epoxy and you glue just the inside of the pipe itself. Not too far in, you don't have to go too far in. But the more important part is getting it on the top of the pipe itself, because the cap sits on that, and that's where you get your most surface area for the cap to seal down tight. Take a cap, put it on top, close it up tight. Get some paper towel, get rid of your excess. Now, give this another 30 minutes to dry. Another hour would be better, but 30 will go just fine in this case. Now you have the top sealed on, you have the pipe itself, you have the bottom sealed. This is now a solid cache made for the second part, which is the 35mm container. Let's go do that.